Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sacred Cornerstone podcast, Mind, Body, and Community, where we explore the powerful connections between our environment, our biology, and our overall well being. I'm your host, Shar-Day, and today we're talking about something that often gets overlooked in conversations about health, and that is the physical environment. Specifically, we'll be looking at how environmental and ecological conditions impact individuals and families right here in Phoenix, Arizona, and what social workers can do to advocate for healthier, more equitable communities. When we think about health, many people immediately think about doctor visits, medications, or personal lifestyle choices. But human biology tells us something important. Our bodies are constantly responding to the environments we live in. Factors like extreme heat, air quality, neighborhood design, and access to healthy food all place real physiological demands on the body. Research shows that environmental stressors can increase strain on the cardiovascular system, disrupt sleep, elevate stress hormones, and contribute to long term health disparities, based on Ferguson 2013. So, environment is not just background, it is biologically active. Environmental realities in Phoenix. So, living in Phoenix brings unique environmental challenges. First, we have extreme desert heat, super hot in the summer months. So, during much of the year, especially in the summer, temperatures can reach levels that significantly increase risk for dehydration, heat exhaustion, cardiovascular stress, and sleep disruption. Over time, chronic heat exposure can also contribute to irritability, fatigue, and reduced emotional regulation. Second, air quality is an ongoing concern in certain parts of the Phoenix metro area. Communities located near major highways or high traffic zones often experience higher exposure to pollutants. Poor air quality has been linked to respiratory problems, inflammation in the body, and increased health risks, particularly for vulnerable populations. Third, we must consider the built food environment. In some Phoenix neighborhoods, fast food and convenience stores are far more accessible than fresh, affordable groceries. I myself even struggle to look for healthier options that are available to me. Environmental justice research shows that when healthy food is harder to access, communities face higher risk for chronic illness and stress related conditions. This is based on Mason 2024. When we step back and look through a biophysical social lens, we can clearly see that environment and health are deeply interconnected. What this means for social worker practice. So the big question becomes, what is our role as a social workers? We have responsibilities at multiple levels. First, the micro level. At the individual level, we must expand our assessments. That means asking clients questions like, how safe is your housing during extreme heat? Do you have reliable transportation to grocery stores? Are there environmental stressors in your neighborhood? These questions help us understand biological stress that might otherwise be invisible. Second is the meso level. At the community level, collaboration is key. Social workers can partner with cooling centers, food banks, mobile health programs, faith-based organizations, and community wellness initiatives. These partnerships help buffer environmental stress and build protective supports. Third, we can actually look at the macro level. At the systems level, our role becomes advocacy. Ranvan and colleagues 2024 emphasize that climate and environment challenges require transdisciplinary systems level responses. This means social workers must engage in policy conversations, urban planning discussions, environmental justice coalitions, and public health advocacy. Because individual coping skills cannot alone fix structural environmental inequities. Understanding environmental justice as a whole. Let's pause and define something important. Environmental justice. Environmental justice means that all people, regardless of income, race, or neighborhood, deserve equal protection from environmental hazards and equal access to health supporting resources. However, research consistently shows that environmental burdens are not distributed equally. Lower income communities and communities of color are more likely to experience higher heat exposure, poor air quality, fewer green spaces, and reduced access to healthy food. Mason and colleagues 2024 highlight that addressing these inequities is now a critical priority in social work practice. From an eco-social perspective, we cannot separate environmental conditions from health outcomes. So this is where advocacy comes in action. So what would advocacy look like in real life here in Phoenix? There are several practical steps. First, community education. I would support programs that teach residents about heat safety, hydration, air quality awareness, and available local resources. Education reduces risk before crisis occurs. Second, strengthening resource access. This includes collaborating to expand cooling centers, community gardens, mobile clinics, and transportation supports. These are protective factors that directly reduce biological stress load. Third, policy and advocacy. This might involve supporting initiatives that promote equitable urban planning, expanded green spaces, clean air protections, and improve healthy food access. Ferguson and colleagues 2013 remind us that physical environments shape developmental and long-term health outcomes. So when we advocate upstream, we are practicing preventative social work. In closing reflection, as we close today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Environment is not just where people live. It is something their bodies are constantly responding to. Here in Phoenix and in communities across the country, advancing environmental justice requires us to assess holistically, collaborate intentionally, and advocate courageously. When social workers address environmental conditions alongside individual needs, we move closer to true whole person and community healing. Thank you for joining me today on the Sacred Cornerstone podcast, Mind, Body, and Community. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a colleague or community partner who is passionate about health, equity, and environmental justice. Until next time, continue building strong foundations for mind, body, and community wellness. Take care.